Rejection is one of the hardest things to deal with as an artist, and I've been doing this full time for the past 10 years. I sell my work at art fairs all around the Midwest, and I've painted over 300 different animals. You can see one back there, my three-toed sloth. But the thing is that being an artist comes with inherent problems, and rejection is it's difficult. And if you're watching this video, you may be searching it out because you have recently experienced a rejection. It's something that happens very commonly in the art world. We are applying to exhibitions and art fairs and art contests, all sorts of different things, trying to get grants. And there's a lot of people, other artists, who are also competing for those things. And so inherently, some of us are not going to get accepted. And then we get the dreaded rejection letter. Now, it's easy to say that all you have to do is develop a thick skin, but it's really easier said than done. So in this video, I'm going to share with you some of the things that have helped me along the way. First, it's helpful to learn to value your opinions over what someone else thinks of your work. So if you really like your art and you know it's awesome, and deep down inside you've tried your hardest on it, well, then that's all that really matters. And over time, I think the more pieces that you make, the more times you show it to people, and the more rejection that you have, the more experience you get with that, the less meaningful all of these other people's opinions are with regard to your work. Also, I'm 42 now. Now, when I was like 18, even in my 20s, when I was a young adult, it was so difficult for me to kind of filter out everybody else's opinions of me. And I really defined my sense of identity based upon what other people thought in a way that I don't now. And I think some of that comes with age, because as I got into my 30s and now my 40s, I care less and less as each year that I get older, less and less about what other people think of me and of my work. And really, it's most important what I think of me. And so I think that's something that you can carry forward to every aspect of life beyond art. But it is very helpful when you're thinking about getting rejected from art fairs or art events that you've applied to. Another thing to think about is the mindset of the gatekeepers, these people who have judged that you are not good enough to be in their event. Now, they have a lot of things on their plate, right? They're not just thinking about the quality of your work, but they're thinking about how many artists they have allowed into their art fair, for example, who do animal art. They don't want to have every artist that they accept be an animal artist. They want to have a variety there because it's better for the consumer's experience, for the people who are attending their events. And that's what they are really in business for, is to bring people into the event and then to make money off of the artists paying for the booth fees and the application fees to be able to apply to get into the event. And then also the people who are paying to get into the event, because a lot of times the customers also have to pay to get into these events. Now, with art exhibitions, they're trying to get the best curation of things if they're doing a group show to be able to potentially make sales, because it's really a business, all of this. And since there's so many other factors involved, you have no idea whether it was the quality of your work that stopped you from getting into that particular event, or if it was something that they had on their end with regard to organizing the event. Also, you got to remember that art is really subjective. We all have different opinions over things we like. Some people are really drawn to really colorful work like I make. Other people are drawn to black and white monochromatic work. So you just never really know. And there are so many examples of artworks that are not really even art, at least in my opinion, but they sell for lots of money. Remember back in 2019 at Art Basel when they put the banana on the wall? If you're not familiar with this, I've posted a link in the description so you can learn about that. But they sold it for $120,000. Seriously, a freaking banana? I mean, and that's the thing, right? Is that it's so subjective. And I don't care what you've made. If you made it by hand and you actually made it, it's better than a banana taped to a wall. And your art, certainly my art, will never sell for $120,000. And so obviously there were a lot of outside factors involved that had nothing to do with the quality of work. And that's conceptual art for you. And contemporary art, it's not really, I got a kitty friend back there on my table, which I don't want him to be, so I have to take a break here and get the cat off. Come on, buddy, you can't be up there. He says, yes, he can be up here. Okay, buddy, say hi to everyone. He says, no. What can you do when you have cats? I love them though. But okay, back to the video. So there are numerous outside factors that are completely out of your control that are involved in the acceptance and rejection processes of all of these different events. And whether you'll even sell your artwork to begin with, because if you can't get in to the event, if the gatekeepers won't let you in, then you won't be able to make sales. And so it can be really frustrating. This was for me one of the really most difficult things to deal with as an artist. But I like to think about the things that I can control. And what I can control is my skill level. And so whenever I get a rejection, I focus on what I can do to improve, how I can make my work better. And I don't look at my work and compare it to other people that got into the event, because sometimes that can be really frustrating. You look at their work and you're like, my work is definitely better than theirs. So how did they get in? Well, they may have known the right person to get in. You may not have, or they may have applied before you and they already got accepted. I mean, who knows? So I don't compare myself to other artists, but I like to compare myself to what I've previously done in the past. So each painting, I look at the one before, and then I try to make the next one a little bit better. And the next one after that, a little bit better than the one before it. If I keep going in that direction, my art just keeps getting better and better and better year after year. So inevitably, at some point, if you keep trying and you keep at it, those rejections that you're getting will get fewer and fewer, hopefully. Through all of this, the most important thing is to not let the rejections get in your head and stop you from creating more art, stop you from creating and progressing in your career. Because a rejection, it just shows that you tried. And trying is half of the battle, really, in my opinion, when it comes to succeeding in this art world that we live in today. You just keep trying, try as many things as possible. When one rejection happens, apply to 5 more shows and see if you can get into those. Or try another way to sell your art, like selling online, selling through social media. There are so many options out there. And so 1 or 2 rejections isn't the end of the world, at least in my opinion. And sometimes I'm getting dozen rejections at a time because I apply to a lot of shows and I might only get into 1. So yeah, it's just part of it. I also made another video. If you watch it here, it's about gaining confidence as an artist. If you are watching this one and you found this video helpful, you might also find it helpful. All right, thanks for watching.